You'll be just as pleasantly shocked as I am.
Okay. I love him as Billy Bones in the Muppets, in Muppet Treasure Island.
Oh yeah, he's so great in that.
I love that movie. Muppets are so perfect for people who are over the top.
There's the chat that you're always in. So exciting. There's Pete.
Is Pete there already?
I see him. At least a Pete. Pete
He's a very timely fellow. Because he's on the East Coast, so it's evening for him.
Oh, you're right. It's like
I've got people who always call and text and try to contact me every week. They know I'm doing a live show, and they still are like, "What you doing?"
Oh.
Yeah, I know. Huh?
Ready?
Yeah, I'm totally ready. Are you guys ready? Oh, look what we have
I'm
here.
scared.
I ain't afraid of no ghost. I said, I ain't afraid of
An
no
unnecessary
ghost.
hindrance.
No unnecessary hindrance at all. Oh, these are good.
They
This
are
is going to
quite
be,
good.
this is going to be
They're
a little
organic.
bit of cookie heaven. Are we live?
Yeah.
Are we live with cookie heaven? We
Made
are
with
live
eggs
now.
from
Oh
our
look, there's
chickens.
Muriel. Muriel, all the way from Finland. Yes. Muriel, where are you? Are you outside? It looks like you have a beautiful sunset and some ending of the day light there on you. Are you outside? Well, I like your hat, that's for sure. Okay, and it looks like a few of our other friends. What is this chat room for? Sorry for cat locks, nobody replied. Guess what, guys? I'm going to start the show off with a cookie. Oh my gosh, these are good.
Aren't they?
These are these homemade?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Homemade cookies.
With eggs from our chickens, from our corner of the Shire.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, by way of introduction, you can't start any hobbity goodness without good hobbity food. So, in the tradition of second breakfast, or third, this might be my third breakfast. Hello, everybody. Welcome aboard. My mouth is full of oh my gosh, these are good.
So good.
They're soft, tender chocolate chip cookies, and they were homemade by our friends, Alex Rice and Kellie Rice. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
We are here with our friends who are visiting from Northern California.
Yes.
Yes, you come all the way down to visit LA, and these are our friends, and these guys are always part of our show. We have a lot of regular guests and regular talking chat guests who are in the chat room for Torn Tuesdays, and this is where you are right now. It's our 5 o'clock Tuesday live chat. Ooh,
Justin.
Justin brought us Otter Pops.
Oh, yeah.
Now, this is genius.
Doing
Oh, I think I need to have the orange
I
one.
think I need the red.
Little Orphan Orange is my favorite Otter Pop.
Where
This
the
is
heck
so
do they
good.
have Otter
It's like
Pops
a
in
little
comic
Hobbit
book
orange.
store?
This is perfect. Thank you, Justin.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate
the
that.
first time we've had
Hanonle.
fans of the show on the show.
It is the first and
we've got
not
a
the last time.
We're making history.
Yes, we are. We're making a beautiful Hobbit feast with cookies and Otter Pops. So let me begin the show properly. For all of you guys who are with us on the Barlam's chat room, welcome, guys. How you doing? Hello. This is the spot where you come every Tuesday afternoon at 5 o'clock Pacific time for our weekly talk show. We're going to talk about The Hobbit and the adaptation of the Hobbit film that Peter Jackson is making in New Zealand right now. We'll be talking with our excited young friends, the Rice sisters. We're going to talk about creativity, Beowulf, epic poems, writing and storytelling, and the power of fandom. We'll be making some really big announcements, if you haven't already heard, about the OneRing.net making a special appearance, again, our 11th, or is it our 12th year in a row, at San Diego Comic-Con International.
Wow.
It is our 12th year in a row, is it not? Fantastic. So we've got to talk about our events coming up. We have to talk about what the hell is Billy Connolly doing riding a pig into the Battle of Helm's Deep,
Whoa.
according to
Oh.
bizarre, interesting spoilers that, yeah, you didn't even know that.
No.
They didn't even know that, and now you guys are the first to know that.
There are
We've been
some
hearing
big pigs, though.
there's some big pigs.
Very big pig.
Isn't it true that in Norse mythology, Freya rides into battle on a giant battle swine? According to Norse mythology, Freya? I'm not sure, but I'll look that
I
up.
know she has a chariot pulled by two cats.
She does, exactly. And when she is not in her chariot pulled by cats, She has been depicted in ancient Norse paintings as riding into battle on a giant swine. So,
Well, you don't want to mess with wild hogs.
you don't.
way.
No, you don't. You don't.
Boars are nasty.
Or a dwarf warlord
this is
riding
true.
on a battle swine.
Not
you
a
do
good
not.
combination.
So we have rumors and information. We've got news to talk about, and it's thrilling to have you guys on our weekly show. We've got a lot of ground to cover, so let's get to it. My name's Clifford Broadway, also known as QuickBeam on theonering.net. Over there, off screen, is our technical producer, Justin.
Hi.
Say hi, Justin. Talk really loud.
Hi.
Say hi
My
again.
mouth is full of cookies.
He's eating hobbity goodness. Lots of hobbity good
Very
cookies. All right, and we have a show for you that's going to cover quite a few interesting New Zealand tidbits, and we're also going to focus on all the fan events coming up this summer. It's gonna be right around the corner, isn't it? 3 weeks away now. Really, Justin? Less than 3 weeks away?
I know, we have so much to do.
We don't even have our badges assigned yet. We don't even have our confirmation of where we're sleeping.
That's what I'm saying. Like the premiere in New Zealand is too close. Like we don't even know how close we are to the premiere of this movie.
You guys don't realize that The Hobbit is around the corner. Literally around
It's
the corner.
crazy.
Well, you guys, like, after years and years and years of waiting, and for many years wondering that it would never get made at all,
No.
Yeah.
tell
I
me,
know.
Alex and Kelly Rice, tell me, what is your level of excitement for The Hobbit?
To be honest, I haven't let it sink in yet on purpose because I'm just waiting. I was waiting until we got closer and closer, and now that you're talking about it, I'm realizing that it really is around the corner,
So close.
and that
It really is.
the time is now, which is really exciting.
So exciting.
These Otter Pops are very exciting,
These
by
are
the way.
very exciting as well.
In case you guys weren't enjoying, this is my chocolate chip heaven with my orange Otter Pop heaven.
Almost as good as The Hobbit. Coming out.
Well,
Probably not.
Hobbit Pops,
these,
genius.
there's a marketing idea. Frozen Hobbit Pops.
That is good.
That's a great idea. All right, Warner Brothers licensing, get on it. Get on it. Frozen Hobbit Pops. So we're looking
That's
for.
making it into the presentation. I'm telling you.
We've got.
Ideas for marketing at the end of the presentation. Here's the thing with the presentation. We did, how many conventions did we do last year? 5.
Yes.
You know, San Diego, Atlanta Dragon Con, New York Comic Con,
Mhm.
San Francisco WonderCon,
WonderCon as well down in Anaheim.
Chicago, C2E2, crazy. So
Mhm.
now we're rethinking our entire presentation because we feel like the whole country has seen what we said before.
Yes.
So we're starting from scratch, and we feel like everybody knows about the movie. So now it's time to step up and get those pictures of Benedict Cumberbatch in costume.
I want to see pictures of Benedict doing motion capture for the dragon.
Yeah.
Since I was under the distinct impression for all these months that the actor playing Smaug the dragon would do only voiceover. Only voiceover. Now he has said in interviews he's doing a little bit more work than that. He's doing facial work with motion capture for the creation of this digital dragon, and I'm fascinated by that. How does a humanoid
Yeah.
represent
I know.
something that is not humanoid at all? So, and you know, motion capture captures everything, every nuance, every eyebrow flicker, everything, and
Wow.
that's what makes the work so fascinating to watch. So, I tell you what, Comic-Con is coming up. The dates for the event are July 11th through the 15th. That's right. And we are, theonering.net, we are in the traditional spot where we are in the first hour on the first day opening the convention.
We kick it
Nice.
off.
We kick off San Diego Comic-Con
That
with
is awesome.
what used to be a room of about 500 people. They would come into us to see this slideshow and this amazing presentation about what we know or what we don't know about what's happening in New Zealand. However, since that convention circuit last year, 2 of our staffers, including myself, have been to New Zealand. We've been on the active set. We have seen Peter Jackson and his crew hard at work, so we have a lot of new material to report that we didn't have last year. Believe me. And so we're going to redo the slideshow. We're going to redo everything from the ground up.
And we have a bigger room.
That's the ultimate thing. Every year we used to turn away 750 or 800 people.
You remember the fight
And
that one year?
and one year,
There was a fight.
a very angry fan couldn't get in, and he started fighting with security because he was.
Oh no.
He was arrested.
He was
for
being asked to leave.
punching security because he really wanted to get in. He really thought Peter Jackson was gonna be in the room, and he didn't want to miss it.
Well, at least he wasn't on a battle swine.
Oh my God, that's funny. We've got to get to that too. So 1,000 people will fit in our room now.
Wow.
Instead of turning hundreds and hundreds of people away, we expect to fill the room like we're filling the room right now with thousands and thousands of viewers. Thank you for coming to our chat. And
I think we're gonna try to let everyone on the internet in on our panel.
are we going to do it live if they give us permission?
We're gonna try.
If the Comic-Con people and the authorities there give us the chance, we're going to do some new tech, really cool new technology thing, so we can have live streaming video from our presentation at San Diego Comic-Con. Hey guys, it's really nice to see you all filling up the chat room. There's a lot of I see a lot of new fans whose names I don't recognize. Lady Sarah, 78, hello there. My old buddy Demosthenes from Australia. Man, it is so good to see you again online. I'm going to talk directly about Demosthenes, who published this article about Billy Connolly. He is the actor who is going to...
Demos is in?
What's that?
Demos is in the
Yeah,
chat?
Demos is in the chat. Oh, hi, Vincent. Is that Punctual Vincent? And there's Ted, there's Hutch, Muriel, love Muriel. All right,
The
Ann
funny-
Hobbit. Hello, Ann
I
Hobbit.
was just looking at, usually all of our video chat guests are filled up, but
There's
we've got
Pete.
This is Edith
one
from
and two.
Felton.
We got two less people to
True.
take up those spots.
It's true.
But our dad's watching now.
Yeah,
your
I
dad
see.
watching?
I
He
see.
signed
his
into
name.
the chat.
Is your dad there? All right. Hey, Elpita,
Felton.
how are you? And now, here's the thing. Bammer X, nice to see you again, sir. I love all your tattoos. We have some interesting artists who come and join our show. And we have another interesting artist with us today, Kellie
she's a very
Rice
good artist.
and Alex Rice. But here's the scoop. If you guys don't know this yet, I'm going to lay it out plain and clear. At the very end of The Hobbit, there is a battle of the five armies. No spoilers here, guys, because you knew about this years and years ago. You guys have read this book many, many times. At the very end of The Hobbit, Thorin and all the dwarves who are in the Lonely Mountain, they find themselves besieged by an army of men from Lake Town and an army of elves who have come all the way from Mirkwood with a claim to the dragon's treasure. They all want some of that gold. And they find themselves beset by these characters who are trying to get access to the treasure. And all of a sudden, Thorin sends a message to his cousin, Dane Ironfoot. Sometimes it's pronounced Da-in. And he is the dwarf warlord who lives, 100 miles away in the Iron Hills. This character is played by Billy Connolly. You guys have seen him in, what, Muppet, is it?
In Muppet
Yeah,
Treasure
Muppet.
In
Island.
Muppet Treasure Island. We've seen him, of course, in more bloody crime films like Boondock Saints, and I've seen a lot of his stand-up comedy. But Billy Connolly was just featured in some interviews, and Demosthenes, you did an excellent job. He posted a report on theonering.net that Billy is starting to talk out loud with spoilers about what his character will do, what he'll look like, and what beast he is riding into battle.
He's
which
not
is
getting in trouble.
yeah, he's going to be getting in trouble because now all the fans have something to talk about. Yeah, we're all going to be getting in trouble. Warner Brothers, it's too late. One of your stars has spilled the beans, so we're going to go further with that now. Just saying. Billy Connolly says he's got a severe mohawk, that he's a crazy-ass warlord with a big mohawk, tattoos on his skull, and he also said in this interview that he comes riding into the Battle of the Five Armies, which includes the wargs, the goblins, the men, elves, and dwarves. 5 armies. Count them, 5. He comes riding into battle on a giant pig. Now, this is a bit of information that's making everyone go, what? Just like you did. Just like you did a minute ago. You went, what? Why is a dwarf riding on a battle swine? Is it any different from a wizard being pulled by a bunny sled? I ask you. Okay? What? Now, you know some things about mythology and epic poems and Beowulf, which you've studied in school. Mm-hmm. Do you think that this is within the tradition of Norse and Northern European heroic legends to have all these strange animals? Is a bestiary always necessary in these stories? It always seems to be to me.
The first thing that I think of when I think of boar is the Celts. And so when you're describing him, I pictured him with blue Wode's war paint. I don't know if he has that or not in the film, but I do think that that could be, you know, very relevant cultural reference there with the Boer, because the Boer has been an enemy for a long time of the peoples of England and of Europe, because they have like the yin and yang relationship with it. They hunt the boar and it gives them the food, but one swipe from that boar's tusk and you're gone, because even if it's not that bad of a cut, you know, infection would set in, and back in the day there was no treatment for it. And so, you know, you risked your life, you really risked your life to get bacon.
Yeah, you risked your life
for
nice crispy bacon.
Fresh
So,
tomatoes.
and, you know, so it looks like our innocent little hobbits who have lived a protected life don't really know the risks that the other people have to go to for that nice crispy bacon.
It's true.
Really? I believe they don't.
True.
Here's the funny thing. I'm interested in Billy Connolly and everything that he does because he's a great entertainer, he's a great comedian, and if he says, my character is a really, really wild character who shows up on the scene in this like berserker glory, you know, riding into battle with the tattoos and the mohawks, I'm all of a sudden thinking of Mad Max. I'm thinking of these dwarves might look a little bit beyond Thunderdome. They might. That is what almost. What do you think, Justin? That sounds like what he's describing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my biggest issue with this whole Hobbit thing is the Lord of the Rings was so believable. The wargs didn't talk, the animals didn't talk, all the costumes, and I'm just looking at the neon trees and these big fake beards and everything just seems more fake.
Oh no, he's throwing down the gauntlet.
I'm like, I think it's going to be more of a kids movie. I think this is episode 1 all over again. Star Wars episode 1.
You think we're in danger of alienating all the die-hard franchise fans because they're expecting a glorious return to
the adult storytelling that was Lord of the Rings, and the book was more childish than Lord of the Rings. Hobbit was, and
yes, The Hobbit is a very different story. It's true.
Everything in all of those production diaries, everything screams that this is, you know, fart jokes and dwarf singing and neon trees. I mean, this is Jar Jar. This is episode 1 all over again.
Okay, actually, there's a great band called Neon Trees. I like them very much. No offense. All right, take that out. We'll take that out in editing. Actually, this is live. There is no editing. Sorry, guys. And
I wouldn't be surprised if they have a soundtrack featuring Neon Trees. That's how out of this. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're going so pop culture.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I have a counterpoint to that. Justin seems concerned that the filmmakers, that we should... Justin...
I know you have a counterpoint. What do other people
I do. We're going to ask you guys.
Debate.
But the question is, should we lower our expectations just a little bit for The Hobbit?
I wouldn't expect it to be like, I mean, the main trilogy.
It's hard. It's hard because I've read The Hobbit, but at the time that I saw the Lord of the Rings films, I had not read the books yet, and so I didn't go into it with a preconceived idea. But now that I have read both, I know that The Hobbit is like much lighter in tone,
Yeah.
and it's a story that comes full circle on its own.
Yes.
But I don't know. I have faith in Peter Jackson, and
Exactly.
I purposefully don't go looking for spoilers because I feel like it's just gonna get me upset and flustered like Justin is, and it could be for no good reason at all, because I feel like he did such good work on Lord of the Rings that I have faith that he will, you know, do his best that he can on The Hobbit, and I don't mind if it's lighter in tone. I used to joke to Alex that they should make a 4th movie called Happiness in the Shire, and I'd watch it.
Yeah.
Just be
Hobbits.
Hobbits being happy.
So you know,
We would
There
watch
you go.
it.
There you have it.
See?
You have dedicated fans
Yeah.
who are actually a generation younger than us who identify with these stories. Us. Thank you very much, Mr. Mann. I'm in my 30s still. Okay, look. These fans do have faith that Peter Jackson, as a filmmaker, as a storyteller, will deliver the goods. And here's the reason why. He tested our faith a long time ago, and everyone was worried about what Peter was going to do with the Fellowship of the Ring.
Then he got sloppy.
We thought that no. Then the Two
Justin.
Towers got better. It got better.
King
And then the
Kong
next
was
year,
the
it got
biggest
better.
Hubris of a directorial piece ever.
After
An
the
hour
trilogy.
Too long.
After the trilogy.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, after the trilogy, then
He would
came...
have reshot the Return of the King to be a 4-hour movie. if he could, but he had already shot it all.
But he wasn't working with the same source material. I mean, if he obviously has a great reverence for Tolkien, and I don't think that
I have no doubt that he's got a great reference for, and it's going to be technically capable and storytelling-wise, it'll be there, but it won't be the mature story that we had.
Well, it isn't
No.
as dark of a story, so that right there sets the bar.
It's from a different book.
Yeah. We can't expect it to be just like.
Okay.
It's full of archetypes. I think it's in that way. I think that's why people call it a children's story. I don't necessarily see it as a children's story. I think some kids might be too bored reading it and put it down. But as an adult reading it, I see it as a story that's really rich in our history as, you know, as Western people. And I think that because of we see the archetypes reflected in Tolkien that we've seen in classic what we call fairy tales, which is also, you know, what he was trying, he said his own work was a fairy story because he didn't know what else to call it. And so I think that's why we have a tendency to simplify it or say it's just a kid's book when really it isn't. We're just recognizing, you know, these symbols that appear over and over again in our mythology and are interpreting it, you know, in that way. Whereas
here's another reason why it's not as adult. The Hobbit won't be as adult as the Lord of the Rings was. Look at your shirts. Like, all the hot actors that were in Lord of the Rings, they covered up all the actors with this big, ugly dwarf makeup. Like, they're totally killing it.
I don't know if saying having a Legolas t-shirt makes it more adult. If anything, that makes it more teeny bopper. But
well, that's what I'm saying. They're going Jar Jar's route. I mean, they're just going for
They're
the
not.
kids.
I would not say
no.
Jar Jar. Jar Jar's going. That's a little.
The kids.
Listen,
Kids.
look. Mr. Lucas, I call him Uncle George, okay? Mr. Lucas was making a film for 8-year-old kids. He was certainly making a film with his daughters in mind, and his daughters were in that 11-year-old bracket. That is what he thought he was going to do. J.R.R. Tolkien was also at the point of writing this book trying to entertain his 11-year-old son. I mean, this
movie's going to be for 11-year-olds, just like Star Wars was.
The roots of the story come from his private amusement, Tolkien's private amusement with the languages, the poetry of Middle-earth. He was interested in inventing more languages for the elves, and then he decided, I might as well put this in with the bedtime story that I've been slowly building for my children. I might as well marry the two together. And a greater maturity, and a depth of his accomplishment came with further and further writing. And as Tolkien did, he would rewrite, and he would go back again, and he would rewrite again. And pretty soon, he realized he was building mythology. He was building a place called Middle-earth. Peter Jackson has to approach this with two sensibilities in mind. He has to satisfy the business component, where he is satisfying the expectations of an audience that we've all come to Middle-earth through the cinema, experiencing Peter Jackson's amazing vision. No one seems to even remember what Bakshi did back in 1979 anymore, except me, Grandpa, okay? I'm the only one who seems to remember what Bakshi did. But now everyone is completely engrossed by this defining achievement of cinema. The Lord of the Rings trilogy was a defining moment. They have to recapture that. They have to rebuild this world and find another doorway for us, the audience, to go into Middle-earth again, just the way he succeeded in doing with the trilogy. Yet, he is drawing from different source material. It's 75 years old. It's a book that has different flavor, a different approach. It's an episodic children's story, perhaps. Perhaps that's one way of describing it. And you're right. There are still archetypes in it of danger, peril, of self-identity being redefined through courage and trials and testing.
Because is the Odyssey considered a children's story?
Thank you. Continue. Yes.
I mean,
continue with
it's
that.
not, and it has a lot of the same themes, and this
Yes.
is why I was bringing up archetypes, because, you know, like you said, it follows a lot of the same heroic patterns that our greatest tales that we've inherited from our ancestors, you know, follow.
Yes.
And, you know, my question with the production diaries and Neon Trees, I haven't seen the Neon Trees, but
Did you see the 3D segment of the production diary where they had weird colors splattered on Mirkwood? Because they said the contrast in the high resolution would pop better. Did you see that?
I didn't.
They were doing all these 3D.
Was that in the newest one?
No, it was actually several months ago when
Oh.
they were talking about the 3D technology and the
Okay.
cameras that they were using. Yes.
No, I haven't seen it, but my question for that is always from a business and marketing perspective. They're showing you what they're showing intentionally, and what is the reasoning behind that? Is it to show you, you're not going to see much of this, so I'll show it to you now to mislead you, or just to, you know, give you a taste of something that isn't the good stuff? Maybe they're saving the good stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, they're definitely saving the dragon because no one has
True.
seen it. No one's caught even a pencil sketch. And when I was visiting the set and I went to the art department, there was nothing anywhere in any of the rooms, no available sculptures, there were no test photos, nothing of the
Wow.
dragon anywhere.
Wow.
So they are keeping that stuff very, very close to their vest.
Yeah.
But here's the ultimate point that I wanted to make about how Peter and Fran Walsh and Philippa Boyens and ultimately our non-existent Mexican director Guillermo del Toro, who co-wrote the script with them, they had to work on the trilogy in an effort to condense the trilogy down into a movie.
Yeah.
It was an act of compression and condensing everything in the book way down into movie form. In The Hobbit, it is quite the opposite exercise. They have to expand everything that's in this, you know, minimal little book that has little episodes of adventure, and the screenwriters have to work together to carefully expand story threads, people, personalities, and even incidental events that are mentioned off screen are going to be on screen full with complete details. Look at this. You know, when they talk about, oh, my great-grandfather battled with the orcs at Azanul Bazaar outside the gates of Moria. And so Thorin has like 1 or 2 lines of dialogue about it, but Peter and the screenwriters are going to go and give us like a 7-minute or a 10-minute action scene with that
Wow.
whole battle.
That's cool.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know that for sure, but I would bet my bottom dollar that that's the kind of stuff that they're trying to do. Expansion.
I'm
So-
assuming the groundwork for The Hobbit, it's the same. That darkness existed in the world of The Hobbit just as it did in the world of Lord of the Rings. And if they want to, they can, you know, show all the nefarious insinuations of that weaving its way in whispers and into the story that is, you know, the traditional story of The Hobbit, because they're drawing on other source material, right, other than just what's in the book.
Exactly. There's more material
So-
from the appendices. Well, Legolas never shows up in The Hobbit. Yet we know from the casting announcements, and I
Yes.
know from having been on set, that Orlando Bloom is definitely in this movie.
Oh, definitely.
Okay? Full on. He's in this movie, okay? Just saying. And look, there's our lovely Legolas
There
shirt.
he is.
Hopefully
Right.
not full on.
Full on. The full Monty. Legolas, full Monty.
They're
No, it's
androgynous,
not
it doesn't
happening.
matter.
Yeah, they're androgynous. They're not really. There's no
Nothing
gender.
to see there.
Elves procreate like amoebas do through osmosis. There's no gender, so there's no sexuality. So there you go. That takes care of a lot of problems, doesn't it? All right. So
Especially when you're a Catholic writer.
especially for a Catholic writer like Tolkien.
So the,
No,
the
but
trend
they're
for
expanding
reboots-
this world.
Look, the trend for reboots for the last 10 years has been grittier. Let's make it gritty. Let's make it grittier.
The
grittier.
trend, okay.
The- overall, and you
You're
can
talking about the
consider-
Hollywood trend
I
for
think
reboots.
I think accessibility
Yeah.
is
Okay.
is more prominent. You know, like when they rebooted Batman, they made it, you know, much more like, what if this was a real guy? How could this ever possibly work? And I don't know much about the new Spider-Man, but I know that's what they tried to do with the old new Spider-Man.
Yeah,
But-
10 years ago. For the last 10 years, it's been
Uh-oh.
reboots, and now it seems like they're just going more comical. Like Spider-Man, it's like these bright neon colors, and he's fighting a lizard now. Like, that's where I feel like The Hobbit, call it what it is. For Hollywood, it's a reboot. It's rebooting the Lord of the Rings franchise with this new story, and it's going more comical.
Well, I know 10 years.
Fart jokes and dwarves.
Do you know what? Excuse me, Justin. Just a little while ago, 2 tablespoons of air came out of you. Okay? Just a little while ago. All right. Do we have a problem with fart jokes?
No.
All right?
I
All
was
right.
gonna say, what's wrong with the fart joke?
What's wrong
Fart
with a fart
jokes are
joke?
everywhere.
Okay, they're using a snot cannon.
Jar Jar did a fart joke in Star
When?
Wars. And
Yes.
and that
That's
movie
weird.
got crucified for its poo-poo jokes.
Oh, Bantha Poodoo and all those jokes.
And he
Yes.
steps in it.
Well, I
and-
don't know if you can compare Star Wars and Lord of the
I
Rings.
was about to
because-
say that.
Yeah.
He's the first person. You may wonder who the voice is off camera, but that's Justin. You
Give
know,
us a station
because
ID,
I
we
feel-
got a lot of new people. in
welcome, new friends and new fans. This is theonering.net. Hello, everybody. And here we have Alex and Kelly Rice, our guests visiting from Northern California. Writer, screenwriter, a very talented. I have to talk to you about your videos in a little while, especially that Bigfoot caught on tape. Best footage of Bigfoot I've ever seen. You have a video on your channel, on your YouTube channel, of Bigfoot caught on tape. Did you know that?
I must have favorited it.
You favorited it, yes. You favorited it, all right. It's a big foot that's going with a big scotch tape stuck on the foot.
That made me laugh for hours.
Yeah, it's a stupid piece of.
It's so stupid that it's funny.
It's 30 seconds of film that has a foot stuck with tape all over it. Anyways, Bigfoot caught on tape. Whatever. But yeah, I love that. I thought you were responsible for that. So anyways, back to our station identification. My name is Clifford Broadway. This is theonering.net. We're talking about Peter Jackson's adaptation of The Hobbit with our fine-feathered friends. And we actually have some stuff that I brought from New Zealand because I was just visiting down in Wellington where they're making the films right now. So hello, everybody. Ketchup Bottle, Xana Seb, and Wild Beauty. Hello, Tar Muriel. Nice to have all of our friends join us. And Pete, good to see you on the show today. Now,
Hi, Pete.
hey, Pete. Hey, look, it's the Rice sisters. We've got them here now. So, guys, this is awesome. The thing is, they're going to change a lot of stuff from the book to the movie, and most of us are arguing about it already. I think this is deliberate. I think they did want all of us fans to help the marketing of the film by us spending months and months and months freaking out about the fact that Radagast is riding around on a bunny sled. And now we've got Billy Connolly coming out and saying, "I'm riding into battle on a giant swine." He literally said that in an interview. So this kind of thing is where fans who adore Tolkien, the purists, are going to get real agitated and really upset about what kind of changes are. What is your threshold? How much change can you take before you have to tell Peter Jackson, "Stop, don't change anymore. We want this to still look like The Hobbit"?
You know,
What do you think?
I like his change that he made in Lord of the Rings with Arwen, with her character.
I did too, actually.
I like that
I
he
did
brought her
too.
in more and that he highlighted her story with Aragorn.
Mm-hmm.
And I know people complain because that's not in the books, but I just really enjoyed that. It made me connect with the characters more.
Yes, but if they had the original scenes of Liv Tyler fighting at Helm's Deep, and that part stayed in the film, because they did shoot a couple of days of that, would that have bothered you? I mean, how far is too far?
It depends on how they execute it, because I feel like a lot of times they don't know what to do with women in film, and so they make them these super people who are super smart, super sexy. I can do whatever I want with a sword. No, I've never touched one before, but, you know.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I suppose with Arwen they could have made it work because she's like a couple thousand years old, so maybe at some point she trained with a sword before she wanted to look pretty.
Aragorn is
but
her bow.
That's true. Maybe he taught her. I'm sure they could have, found a way to construe it, but I felt like the changes they made were minimalist yet effective.
Do you remember when Faramir decided to drag Sam and Frodo all the way to Osgiliath?
Yes.
That happened at a point in time where Fellowship of the Ring had already proven itself in the marketplace. Very successful financially and critically, lots of awards, adoring fan base, and all the fans came back a year later for the Two Towers, and then the S hit the fan. When Faramir took our characters, the Ring Bearer, Frodo, and Sam, and even Gollum, who was still captive at that time, and dragged them 70 miles across the river all the way to Osgiliath, which never happened in the books. That was when the S hit the fan. There was a lot of upset fans about that who thought, this is insane. This doesn't happen. This character does not behave this way. In the book, you are destroying Faramir. And then, and I heard their arguments, and I heard their arguments on both sides, and we're coming back to this type of argument now. It's like, why is there an invented elf character, Tariel, who's played by the beautiful Evangeline Lilly? And people still feel that there's questionable areas of adaptation. You just, either you have faith in the director being a very talented filmmaker. I think he knows what he's doing, right?
Definitely.
Either you wait and see, or you get online and you bitch about it. Okay, what do you think?
I don't know if I'm tainted by I write books and I write scripts, and I know that to adapt some of my books to a script, you have to change a lot, and I would have to be okay with that.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about this a lot when Hunger Games came out, because people were like, they changed this, they changed that, and I'm thinking, I don't care. It doesn't affect the overarching story.
And it adds to it.
This is my final product. Like, to me, we will always have the books. So it doesn't matter. The film I see is just a different artistic expression of the same thing. And it's someone else's vision of how they think the story should go. And oftentimes they will change something because it is a quicker and more dramatic way to show something that maybe took hundreds of pages to convey about the character in the book.
Yeah.
And so I tend not to get very emotional about it because I understand that I already have the finished final product. That's it. That's the book that I love.
Yes.
And then I can go and watch the film, and maybe it will be horrible or maybe it will be good. But either way, it's adding to it. So.
You think, Alex?
Yeah, I agree.
Yes. Okay, Alex agrees. Well, seriously. Well, Justin, who is our purveyor of gloom and doom, usually, it is really, really nice to have. It's nice to have the Siskel and the Ebert counterpoints, because you really think that we're going to have an episode 1 Phantom Menace type of backlash?
Absolutely.
You really do.
I really do. That's what I'm most nervous about.
And is this attached? Is this going to be part of people dealing with 48 frames per second, or is it the story?
It's all the above, because I think it's part of the plan on their part, because basically the studio knows everyone that loved Lord of the Rings, they're gonna go see this anyway. So how do you get a bunch of kids that weren't old enough to see it in theaters when the movies came out? Like, how do you hook the younger generation in? I mean, that's what Lucas did. He's like, everyone in the world saw Star Wars 3 times.
Yes.
And bought it 6 times.
Yes.
He released it 6 different ways.
True.
So how do you get people back into things?
But
You
George-
just
George-
go to the bottom dollar.
George Lucas is working in reverse than Tolkien.
No, but Peter Jackson is working in the same reverse mode that Lucas was. Peter Jackson made Lord of the Rings first.
But he
now
didn't.
He's going back
But
to
he
the
didn't
Hobbit.
write his own source material. George Lucas read Joseph Campbell, and he read Young, and he read the analysis of the hero's journey, and how do you read, and then he. This is my problem with Star Wars, is I feel like he just is like, this is the shape of the cookie cutter. I've discovered it. There you go. I'm probably gonna get a ton of hate mail now.
Oh,
but
okay.
Wow.
So
I gotta think
Lucas,
about
let's just say that George Lucas became a master recycler. He was able to compartmentalize Joseph Campbell and Carl Jung and these elements and recycle them in a more digestible movie way.
And I think I feel like with Star Wars, a lot of it is on the surface. There isn't that depth. Even when you watch the Lord of the Rings films, you know that there is history to this place. You know that there is culture to all these different races. And I feel that that's because Tolkien, drew upon Old English poems and written work like Beowulf.
Yes.
And he himself, internalized these mythologies and put them out in his own creative way, stemming from a language that he'd created.
Yeah.
And I think that's a much more organic way
Yeah.
to approach something like this, and that shows. And that's why I feel like, even all these years later, people are still reading these books and speaking the language and,
Yes.
getting the tattoos of it and everything. And I know there's really hardcore Star Wars fans too. There you go.
One of 17 original languages that Professor Tolkien invented in his lifetime.
I thought you were
Because-
going to say one of 17 tattoos.
Because when you invent a
Oh,
language,
I've got 16 empty places on my body for more tattoos. So
because
no.
language dictates your thought. If you don't have a word
Yes.
for something, how are you going to express it? And his ability to craft these languages, just demonstrated the incredible canvas that he has in this world of Middle Earth. Whereas I feel like George Lucas, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and try to diss George Lucas. He's a legend. But I do feel like he was working derivatively and kind of backwards, rather than that organic synthesizing of all the material and then just sitting there and letting it marinate. And then I'm gonna play with my own language. Oh, what if there was a Hobbit in the ground? Like, then what would happen? And I feel like he's just like, I love spaceships. I want to do something with spaceships.
That's an interesting point.
Okay, so speaking of languages, going back to are the animals going to talk in this film?
Will the animals talk in this
We've
film?
seen this on this show before.
Yes, we have.
This has been an ongoing debate, guys.
So we've seen the debate. Let's
you
get
you
other
see
opinions.
you see all of the animals talking in the Narnia books, and of course C.S. Lewis and J.R.R. Tolkien were this close as friends and compatriots, and they would share notes and they would share drafts of each other's work. Professor Tolkien didn't have the same like for Narnia. He didn't really like it that much. He didn't have the same affection for Narnia as everybody thinks that he did, but Professor Tolkien was trying to be kind and supportive of his friend, but I think he decided to quickly go out of that world of talking badgers who are in the kitchen making tea. You know, he decided to just have the hobbits in the kitchen making tea. But there's a lot of talking animals in The Hobbit. We have a lot of angry spiders, a lot of conversation between eagles and Gandalf the Grey, and we don't have any indication of any of this happening. I went down there and I visited Weta. I was talking to the artists and the designers who are making all this armor and weapons and designing creatures for the movie, and I asked them, do you know yet if the eagles are going to be talking, or do you know if the spiders are going to talk? And they said, we don't know. We're just drawing these things. We're just trying to design them. And I'm thinking that's very interesting.
Yeah.
I think they were pulling my leg. I think that Weta does know if there are talking animals, and I think
Either
they're not
that,
telling
or,
me.
either that, or the answer's no, because then they
Sure.
haven't asked them to design anything specific about their mouths.
Yeah.
So
And how do you make an eagle talk with human speech?
Yeah, really.
When its beak cannot create these sounds, or even move that way. If you guys got a handle on the Warner Brothers video game War in the North, you would see how the animators created very good talking eagles. They look really great in the video game. I love it. It's well designed. But when I asked those guys at Weta in Wellington, they didn't offer any information about whether the animals are talk. Would you prefer it one way or another? When we see the film, what would you prefer to see?
I just trust PJ either way. I mean, that's just me. Whatever he chooses.
But you got to have an opinion.
I know.
Right?
If he does it well,
Yeah?
which I'm sure he would.
So you wouldn't mind that this version of Middle-earth dips a little more into Narnia world, a little bit more.
I mean, like, a little bit would be fine as long as it's not Jar Jarism, as Justin said.
All
Justin
right.
would
What
go
I'm
off.
terrified,
That's
right?
not Jar
This
Jar
is it.
territory, though.
Back to the Jar Jar.
Only if it's extreme.
Jar Jar's gonna live on in history
I know.
as like the epitome of like horrible, like dumbing things down for the audience and
Okay.
And to be fair, and I get in this debate with Star Wars fans all the time, is that George Lucas corrected himself. Like if you watch the episode 2 and 3, where's Jar Jar? He's practically not there. And so like he listened and he made the changes.
I
So-
think people get like annoyed with the idea that he put him in there to amuse himself and that he's sitting there laughing at Jar Jar and the rest of the country's going, is that? And he's like, it's funny.
that's what I'm afraid is going to happen here. You know,
Yeah.
because we know that the Council of Elrond is going to be there, and there's a lot of seriousness in The Hobbit, and Peter Jackson knows how to tell a serious story seriously.
Yes.
So then you start to see all the fart jokes, and who does he hire for all the human characters? Scottish comedians, Stephen Fry, Billy Connolly. Like, it's just comedy everywhere. Let's just make this a comedy.
I don't see a problem with that, though. I mean, they're two different, I don't know, things.
There's room for more comedy
Yeah.
in this story than there is in the
Exactly.
Lord of the Rings. There's a little bit more room for Martin Freeman, who plays Bilbo, for him to be a little bit more loose and have a little bit of elan about this whole approach. He can afford to. We have to understand why Bilbo is so funny. Tolkien thought it was really hysterical in his own personal amusement to take a fat little overfed rural Englishman, take this little rural Englishman out of his plaid kitchen with his scones and his butterscotch, and take him out on the road chasing dragons. And he thought taking people who are typically rural English, and they're full of manners, and they're full of what they think is money, they think they've got the world at their fingertips, Tolkien thought it was funny to rip them out of their comfort zone and put them in difficulty. He thought that was comedy. The whole thing is built on what Tolkien thinks is funny. That's how the story was created. To be honest with you guys, this is Tolkien scholar Clifford Broadway talking to you live from Meltdown Comics here in Sunset Boulevard, right here in the heart of Hollywood. I think it's funny. Do you guys think there's room for comedy in The Hobbit?
Definitely.
Is there room?
Yeah.
Okay. However, Peter and Fran and these guys have built a legacy of the trilogy. They have to make these films fit
true.
in the style and the look. And why did they bring Howard Shore back? Why did they bring Richard Taylor back? To make it all fit in this existing cinematic universe.
I totally agree that
It has
this
to fit.
story, this book, the Hobbit book, is a different beast, and there's more opportunities for comedy and everything like that. But what I'm saying is, Peter Jackson in the original Lord of the Rings trilogy has set a standard of filmmaking. He set basically a promise to everyone that watches his movies that I'm a dramatic filmmaker and I can do this. Just like George Lucas set a standard with Star Wars. I mean, George Lucas didn't even direct the other two movies. He set a kind of a brand promise saying, I'm going to tell an epic space story. And then people were disappointed because he put in all these kid jokes. And I think that's what a lot of people who not have read the book or anything, they're going to go in like, oh man, I can't wait to see this again. You know, revisit Middle Earth, and then they're gonna get in. And it's just,
Well,
you know, it's gonna
then they should
open
have
with a
known.
fart joke.
There's some levels of humor, like Bigfoot caught on tape, that are universal. Like, it's not just kids who are gonna laugh about
Yeah,
anything.
there's-
And there's probably room in The Hobbit to put jokes that kids will get, but maybe on another level, adults will get even more. And, you know, it could be for both.
Well, there's comedy in the Fellowship of the Ring, a little bit, and then it gets darker and darker as the trilogy goes on. But in the book, The Fellowship of the Ring, Tolkien describes hobbits and their eating habits for a few pages. But in the movie, we have Billy Boyd walking up to Viggo Mortensen and saying, yes, we've had first breakfast, but we haven't had second breakfast. And there's comedy there, and the scene plays for just a few seconds, and it ends with a slapstick. Viggo throws an apple, and it bounces on Pippin's head.
But
Right? That's physical comedy. We've
That's
got
what hooked her, though. I mean, we were how old were you? 9?
yeah.
When did it first come out?
2001?
So that was like 11 years ago. Wait.
Oh God, we're
I was
we're
like
dating
12?
ourselves
Yeah.
now. We're
Was
dating.
I like 12 then?
Yeah.
Really?
Something around
No.
that? No way.
And how old are you now,
I'm
dear?
20.
20?
Yes.
And you?
I'm 28.
28? Okay. I wouldn't have thought that. I thought you guys would have been much closer in age, really.
everyone thinks
Fascinating.
that.
Yeah, really.
No.
But hey, look, I'm saying if there's room for comedy in the Oscar-winning Fellowship of the Ring, and if Billy Boyd can take an apple on top of the head,
Oh, yeah.
then there's room for comedy. I'm
Yeah.
just but I would have a problem if the only animal that talks in The Hobbit is that damn moth. If that little moth is the only creature that gets to talk in the whole Hobbit movie, I'm going to be pissed off, okay? I want to see talking spiders. I want to see angry talking spiders. I really want to see it. No, don't you? You don't.
No.
You
I
act like you
look,
don't want to see spiders talking.
The trolls didn't talk. The spiders didn't talk. I love Lord of the Rings, and that's what I don't want the spiders
Well,
to talk.
the
I don't
trolls
want
talk
the
in The Hobbit.
I can deal
for a whole chapter.
I can deal with the trolls, and I feel like I'm giving a lot by saying I will accept trolls talking, but nothing else.
Nothing else.
Not
Only
golden
trolls.
eagles,
We
not
have to
wargs.
cut Justin some slack though, because
Yeah.
I heard he hasn't read a certain book.
What is that?
Oh, just this, you know, just
I
some
don't know.
book. Why don't you open it?
It's a Matham.
Mathams. Okay, as we argue and debate, as often fans do, the Rice sisters have brought gifts. Our favorite audience has brought their favorite show hosts some gifts, and we've been stuffing them full of Otter Pops and
Hobbity
I'm gonna
goodness.
and hobbity goodness. I'm gonna keep on eating these cookies, guys. I
I
wish
would
you
like
were
that
here.
gift.
Oh,
wish
here he
you were here.
goes.
Oh,
This
really?
is for you,
Oh, for me? Oh,
Yes.
this is beautiful. Thank you.
Here comes.
and this is for both.
Thank you. This
Yeah,
is
what
really,
is it,
really nice.
Justin?
So it's time to open the gifts and eat the cookies on Torn Tuesday.
Sit back and watch Justin.
Did they open?
Oh, wow, this is cool.
Did they open gifts in the Hobbit?
Hobbits love to
These are
give
really
presents.
good, by the way. This is so good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Hobbits love to give presents.
And eat cookies.
Mathams.
And
Oh,
re-gift
ho, ho,
presents.
what's that? Look at what Justin got as a gift. What did I get? Oh, this is beautiful.
I don't. You probably already have them.
No, I've seen them at the store. I never had these before.
They got.
Oh, this
they-
is so
They
great.
brought me a copy
They're really
of the Hobbit
neat.
with J.R.R. Tolkien's actual drawing.
The book he's never read.
It's a little familiar looking.
Oh, it is a little familiar. What do you have there, Justin? Show everyone at home.
Same thing.
Justin was just given a copy of the annotated Hobbit. It was annotated by Douglas Anderson, an old friend of the OneRing.net, a great scholar and a really great friend. So this is it, the annotated version of the Hobbit. For you,
Thank you.
how nice. How lovely.
You're
And for me,
welcome.
I got these extraordinary books called A Hobbit's Journal and A Hobbit's Travels, which are sold at fine bookstores everywhere with these beautiful blank sheets. They're somewhat blank, but this is a journal and a notebook filled with art. Can you guys see it?
When you
And-
go to New Zealand for the premiere, you need to write about your adventure in it.
Oh, I will.
Ooh,
I
good
will.
idea.
I will use
Wow.
this. This is so beautiful.
That's awesome.
Oh my god.
This is a notebook that's filled with sketches and artwork so that you can keep a journal and a diary with all these familiar motifs.
It's full
Thank
on
you.
annotated. Like this
This
is
is
no
gorgeous.
joke.
Yeah. And this is for both of you. This is something you've already seen before,
Have we?
but
That you have.
Really nice.
I don't know which of you wants this.
Ah! That's awesome.
What's going on the wall?
Oh my god! That is so
that's going
great.
on the wall.
Guys, can you see this? I don't know if you can see the artwork.
What was it?
Because the light, this is a painting that they made of us.
a couple
She
months
made.
ago, during the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on!
Yeah.
Oh my god, this is so cool. Thank you very,
You're
very
welcome.
much. Alex, jeez.
She did it all.
You did this? You painted this yourself?
Yes, she did.
Yeah,
During the
I'm
show.
not the
During the
happiest with
show.
how it turned out.
Original sketch and watercolor
It's
by
awesome.
Kellie Rice. And I don't know if you guys can see it very well because the light isn't going to cooperate.
It's
with the
Cliff
camera.
and Justin wearing fellowship cloaks.
Oh yeah.
As hobbits.
Someone
It's
in the
us.
chat
Yeah,
remembers.
I have the brooch.
He and I. How funny is that? Okay, now,
That's going on the wall.
thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm so blessed. I'm so pleased. It's really good to have you guys here. So we're going to turn our attention to some of our. Oh, who are they? Okay, for our fans who are now joining us live, we've got 750 people live, and well, we've had a total of 17,000 viewers in just the past hour. So this is our audience coming in and being part of our show, okay? But not just any regular person in our audience. We have in our midst, we have a very talented screenwriter and an award-winning writer and
Many
screenwriter,
awards.
Kellie Rice, who is you had graduated from
San Jose State.
San Jose State University, where you won a prize related to, was it a certain contest or was it the whole class?
Yeah. Well, I won one for the class. I won
Mm-hmm.
one for the school, and then I won one all for the same script, a national
Yes.
competition that was open to all
Twice
universities.
too. That same one.
Oh,
right?
that's
Yeah.
fantastic.
all,
years in a
all
row.
of state, right?
She wrote a really interesting script. I believe it's called Daughters of the Wind,
Mm-hmm.
right? Daughters of the Wind is something she recently shared with me, and I got to see and learn a little bit about it. And you have actually lived and breathed with a lot of mythology, and you've studied Tolkien and Beowulf in school, and you've brought some of that to your own writing as well.
Yeah.
So we're having our guests on the air today because we all share the same approach and the same strong appreciation for mythic storytelling, and we like to talk a little bit about what goes on behind really, really good stories. But I'm more interested in why we're attached. Why is it we, modern people living in 2012 with smartphones and iPads and we've got Ethernet through our heads all the time, why is it,
Ooh,
and Otter
more
Pops.
Hawk Pops.
Oh, and more Otter Pops. Why are we so interested in ancient archetypes? Why do they have such a holding power on us? What do you think?
I think a lot of the argument for that is that the heroic journey actually echoes a human's life journey.
Mm.
You start in home where you're secure, and then you eventually go out into the world
Where there's risk.
where there's risk and you face all sorts of dangers. You know, traditionally it's about a male, and you encounter the feminine. You encounter a mentor, and you conquer whatever your insecurities are. You conquer whatever your fears are. At least you strive to in your life, so that by the time you return back to your safety, back to your comfort zone, you have grown a lot as an individual, and you've learned things about yourself and the world,
Like Bilbo.
and you can do this
Very
every
true.
day too. It doesn't have to be, when you're born to when you die. It can be going on a trip down to Disneyland and stopping by
yeah.
Torn Tuesday and
So that's the real purpose of your trip, but this goes back to conversation. Our conversation last week. What type of ride would a Middle-earth ride be?
Like at a amusement park?
Yeah, if Disneyland made a deal with Warner Brothers and said, all right, let's do it. Let's do a
Mordor.
ride
You could do a Mount Doom roller coaster.
We just jumped from mythic archetypes to
Roller coaster.
amusement
That
parks.
is Justin. Justin's fault.
We brought it back to amusement parks.
I'm always bottom of the barrel.
Always. Well, I mean, there's a reason why we are interested in Tolkien more than a lot of other fantasy authors. He has more staying power. He has a lot more longevity than other authors of the late 20th century. You have to admit.
Oh yeah.
And I wonder about that. Why is it Tolkien was the winner of the top 100 books of the 20th century, and everybody in the United Kingdom voted and said Lord of the Rings was the top. Best book of the century. Now, what, I did a segment in my movie, Ringer's Lord of the Fans, about that. And I had a long conversation with Clive Barker, who's a very talented writer of fantasy and dark horror. Hellraiser, the Aberrat series, and of course, The Great and Secret Show. Lots of fantastic books.
Candyman?
Yeah, Candyman. Mr. Clive Barker's a genius. And he also spoke about it in these terms when I talked with him. He said that we are more interested in watching those people in that story have to go through the trials and the tribulations so we can have a catharsis of our own. We can let them go through the trouble so we don't have to. They can learn their life lessons and they can be applicable to us without us having to directly go through the same hardships, as if we are in a voyeuristic way kind of absorbing the story to our lives in such a way. Do you know what I'm saying?
I do, and that seems to be, is the first response I gave because it's the one that I've heard the most. But I feel that it's more than that. At least with Tolkien, I feel that he has a lot of draw for me because of his. I think we have a lot of the same aesthetic values. I grew up, in a rural area, and I really value that connection with the land of growing your own food and then eating it, and and you just feel you belong there. The hobbits are barefoot; they're walking on the earth. There's the natural state of humankind is very far removed from where we are now.
Is that a symbol then that the hobbits are barefoot? Is that perhaps a deliberate
that could
symbol?
look at it in that way. I've been thinking about it a
That's
lot
fascinating.
as we were walking down
Hollywood
Boulevard today, and Justin was teasing us because I was saying I feel like I need to go into dirt to get clean, and you said no, dirt's dirt, that's dirty. But I just feel like in the city, all this
That's dirty.
artificial stuff everywhere,
Uh-huh.
and that to me is as unnatural as possible and is gross. And I'm obviously an earthy person.
Why has society gone to such lengths over the centuries of building societies that this is like the best way to live? We wouldn't be living with concrete and asphalt and everything like this if it wasn't the healthiest, strongest, best way
Well, that's not
to
true.
live. Because dirt is dirt.
It's the
is dirt.
cheapest, easiest way
It's,
to
it's,
live.
it's, it's,
Not
the,
cheaper
it's the
than
cheapest
dirt.
and
It's
most
not cheaper
permanent.
than dirt.
There's
It's not cheaper than dirt.
I'm not an anthropologist, but I went to a discussion on surnames by our former clan chieftain of our local Celtic society back where we live.
Oh,
And-
cool.
and he-
Society?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, the Loch Lomond Celtic Society is where I went and heard this. So
We don't
he
even have that here.
really,
Oh, I'm
That's
sure we do.
sad.
We just have to look it up.
Yeah.
I know in
We'd have to
Bakersfield
look it
there's a
up.
big Celtic community, but
Bakersfield, of all places. Wow. The land of Buck Owen. The land that Buck Owen created. But that's another story. But go ahead.
so
You were
there's
saying.
now I don't remember what I was saying. The chieftain, yeah. So he was giving this talk, and he pointed out that the Celtic peoples are an Aboriginal people, and that other groups of people are indigenous groups of people. And I said, well, everyone's indigenous to somewhere. What's the difference? And he said, Aboriginal peoples are people who worship the land and who believe in taking care of the land for the generations to come and aren't looking for what they can gain in their lifetime. Whereas indigenous people like the Romans were looking at it, I don't like where that river is. I'm going to move it because I want to cause change in the natural environment to suit me in my lifetime. And I don't care if I blow up that mountain to get some gold that is not really worth anything, but it is in, our society. And they're the
Yeah.
two different types of people, and those two different mindsets. You know, he had this theory that we inherit thought patterns from our ancestors because of cultural teachings. You know, you're taught certain values, and ever since I heard that, I've been looking out for it to try to see, you know, evidence of it. And it's hard because if you're looking for something, you're gonna see it. But
That's true.
but
Interesting.
so I think that Tolkien kind of addresses that war of Sauron and Saruman being the oppressive force of take everything you can in this life. Take everything you can for whatever gain you want and just wipe out anyone who's in your way, versus the people who say, no, this is about our lifetime, but it's also about our children and our children's children, and what are we leaving for them? Because everything is a circle, you know, it's not just going to end.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's very true. And I remember Gandalf very succinctly says in a speech to others that we cannot, handle all the problems of the future. We can't till the earth for them, but at least during our lifetimes, future generations will look at us and they'll say, at least, they tried to, manage things and get the evil out of the land. And he's like, we cannot, Gandalf said, and he's a lot better at it than I am. Gandalf is more succinct than I could ever be.
It's okay, he's a lot
Trust
older.
me. Yes,
Yeah.
he's a lot older. But he said, we cannot govern the forecast, the weather. We can't govern the conditions of what their harvest will be like. But at least we can leave them with clean earth. Clean tilled earth that will support life. Do you remember that? There's something in there. You guys, I'm sure Pete will be able to find that original quote for me. But that's true. That is true that Tolkien did show Saruman diverting the course of the river, and the industry of Isengard, and all these things that showed.
Cutting down the forest.
Yeah, that Professor Tolkien was very, very much against that kind of that use of the land, or that abuse of caretaking. He never forgot that we were all caretakers of the planet.
And I think in the modern psyche, that's a battle that most conscientious people have to deal with, because we're living on land that was taken by, depending on how you look at it, a genocide, and we're using products that are killing our planet, but we use them every day, and we walk and breathe here, and so where do you draw the line? You can't go back, I guess, is the message. You can't go back. And so I think that's why Tolkien really resonates with people, as they see an idealized lifestyle that maybe they wish they could live in. Maybe you could wish you could live in the Shire. And how do you find your own Shire here and now?
Exactly. That's an excellent idea. Guys, your challenge of the day is to find out how you can live in your own Shire, here and now, in your own life. Perhaps that's actually a really good metaphor.
We've got a wizard.
Look.
Ooh, it's a wizard.
We have Astro, you pronounce it. Astro NRS 50. Hello there, welcome guys. And Ketchup Bottle, you're still with us. Thanks for holding in for the long haul, man. There's Xanaseb and the Dude and Tar Muriel. And up at the top, there's Northrunner. Hi Pete. Welcome guys, welcome to our Stickcam chat. This is very interesting. We're going to go right into our chat room and get some direct comments and questions from our audience. This is the point of doing a live webcast. You guys get to come in and be part of the show live. Yes, we've got 20,000 live viewers through this past 1 hour. And welcome again to Torn Tuesdays. If you guys have any questions about what's coming up at San Diego Comic-Con, do you want to ask us about Tolkien, about the adaptation of The Hobbit, anything you guys want to ask, bring your questions right here to us. And I see there's Azrael Wolf. You think a Hobbit home would last very long? Yes, I think that's a good question. Do you think a Hobbit home would last very long? You mean in today's world, in the 21st century? I was just watching Home and Garden TV, or what was it? There's a guy who has built his ranch out to have hobbit holes and actual physical, gardens and little rivers. Little rivers.
Cool. That's all.
That's a band name too.
That's a band name too. It's actually the secret name of the production. It's called Little Rivers.
Oh yeah.
It used to be Jamboree. The secret code name for Lord of the Rings trilogy was Jamboree, but now Peter Jackson and his crew are using Little Rivers as their code word for the Hobbit. Here's the idea. Do you think a Hobbit home would last very long? In today's world, you'd have to have it wired with plumbing and electrical and Ethernet cables.
It has to be up to code.
It has to be up to code. You'd have to have permission from your local city to build it. Why wouldn't it? Why couldn't you? You could build a Hobbit hole, hide all the technology behind the panels of the walls.
I've seen one somewhere on the internet. Someone even did the interior like it.
Ooh.
I should try to find it
I
and
was
show it
trying
to
to
you.
remember where Hobbit
I'd
City,
love one.
California was.
It's actually off of the Avenue of the Giants. It's just on a stretch of highway that really isn't in a town.
It's north of San Francisco.
Yes, it is. About 75 miles north of San Francisco. And it's
Wow.
it's an offshoot called Avenue of the Giants.
Off the 101.
Yes, it is, right off of the 101.
Or 101 as we up there call it.
Yes, 101.
Without the V.
Without the. The.
That's how you can tell where people are from different
You
parts
don't
of the
say
state.
the 405, the
No.
101.
Nope.
Take the 10.
We say take Highway 9 or go on 101.
Go on 101. You don't
Okay.
use the article, the. Okay, all right. Well, colloquial speech. It's very interesting. Okay, now here we go. Azrael Wolf says, my boss has a dome house, told him he should cover it with grass and make it a hobbit hole, and I think he said something about roots in the cement were like water. Oh, well,
Yeah.
yeah, you might have plant roots growing. I believe there were lots of plant roots and tree roots growing into Bag End.
Hey, that'd be
And
Yeah.
cool.
that was part of their lives, to
I
be
mean,
with
yeah.
the plants, right?
People lived like this in history, and
Yeah.
it's a lifestyle that takes up your whole day. You know, you don't have indoor plumbing or anything like that, so you have to go down to the stream and you have to boil your water, and so you know that is you know what you were saying about we live in the easiest way or the most comfortable way, and
Yeah.
we do compared to that lifestyle, but
We've
some
evolved
people
to live
go
like
back
this.
to that and choose to live that way.
Nothing
But
wrong with that.
Okay. Now, yeah, we're eating a lot of Otter Pops. Yes, we are.
I'm eating a lot of Otter Pops. They're in front of me.
Do you guys want some? If you guys want some Otter Pops, we're going to rebrand them Hobbit Pops. We're going to ask Warner Brothers to get the license to do that for us.
Yes.
Okay?
I say we just give these away at our booth at Comic-Con and put a sticker.
I was
That's-
about to
Hobbit
say
Pop.
that.
Guys? Oh, look, there's Wayne44. Oh, cool. Is that your, dude, he's got his Narsil. That's an excellent replica of Narsil. That's Aragorn's sword. All right, if you guys have any questions, just type the questions in the chat. And we've got two places where you can interact with our live show. If you're on Stickcam, if you have an active account with our friends at Stickcam, you go to stickcam.com/theonering. That's it. Stickcam.com/theonering. But if you're here on theonering.net, basically on our Barlamans page, you'll find yourself at theonering.net/live. Oh
The
no!
Hobbit's
Yeah.
village.
Oh, napkins and paper towels. Okay, we're making a sticky mess of
Hobbit blood.
oh no.
We're okay.
Well, you know what?
Got it.
We're okay.
If we were filming this in sepia tone or in black and white, it would look very much like blood. It probably would. It really would. So, Kelly, are you submitting Lord of the Freaks to the Academy Awards people?
Oh boy.
Pete has a question for you. Are you submitting? And you got to tell me, what is a Lord of the Freaks? Is that a joke or is it a real
We
project?
made them.
It's our version of Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
Fan films that we made
Oh,
in 2004,
funny.
5.
It was a while ago.
2003, 2004, and
And who'd you
2005.
play?
I was Shelob, Gollum, the King of the Dead, Gandalf.
Gandalf. We all played multiple
Yeah.
characters.
My beard was pretty amazing.
Supposedly they
You were
were.
Gandalf.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was
She's a
paper
good
paper
Gandalf.
with scotch tape. And my Shelob was like
Supposedly
How do you
they
remember?
were shown at Dragon Con a couple years
Oh, that's
back.
right, they were.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
we
we
couldn't go, but they asked if they
was a
could
while ago.
show them there.
Oh gosh, that's so cool.
There must have
We're
been a
there
dearth of
every
fan films.
Yeah.
They show films like that all day, every day. In fact, at Dragon
Oh, and
Con,
Treebeard. Pete's right.
Oh yeah.
Dragon Con takes place in 3 hotels in Atlanta, and so you know how you have like the hotel channel, you know,
Yeah.
it's like
Uh-huh.
you press 1. Yeah, well, Dragon Con just plays fan films on every hotel
Wow.
room,
Wow.
in every television in the entire city.
That's
for
pretty
that
cool.
week. It's crazy.
That's funny. We have
That's
another.
weird.
We have another question. Right here we have our audience asking. The dude is asking, how do you guys know so much about The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings? It's a good question. Thank you. Well, some of us have spent our whole lives sort of absorbing ourselves into this life, the life within the pages. I know people who do bonsai trees. This is a great analogy. And those people do nothing else but do bonsai trees. They dedicate their time and their hours and hours and hours to learn about it, taking care of the plants, different styles, and how they cut them and prune them and sculpt them into beautiful plant sculptures. Those people are dedicated. And for someone like me, since I was 11 years old, I've never pulled my nose out of the books. I've been hyper dedicated as a reader, and that paid off as scholarship. It became scholarship because I found myself studying and learning, like existential details about Tolkien's life. At the same time, I was learning about the inner lives of his characters, and I was learning about the writer as well. And so before long, I ended up being a writer and a blogger on theonering.net, and I wrote a couple of books that were published and did a little movie, a little documentary film called Ringer's Lord of the Fans, which you can... and actually, in the Lord of the Rings video game, I got to play the voice of Sam.
We have that game.
You do?
Yes, we
You do? The Black Label games? Really?
Wait, they were the Xbox ones we have.
It was the Xbox One that Universal published. Yeah, Universal
one is
Black
it?
Label Games. It just says The Fellowship of the Ring, and it's got a black logo with a ring on the front.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we played that.
You do?
Yeah, well, we did.
You're
I
kidding.
haven't played it
It
forever.
kept freezing in Moria, so
Yeah.
we saw
Oh yeah. Well, it was that kind of a. Yeah, the designers did such a great job on that. But no, seriously, I did the voice of Sam. on
That's
that.
really
You didn't know that?
amazing.
No!
Oh my God!
We
Really?
also watched Ringers years ago.
Yeah,
Oh
we
my
did
God!
that.
And you
I
didn't
got
know
it
that
for
I.
Christmas. I should have brought it for you to autograph.
Really?
Oh my gosh.
Well,
that would've been-
I brought a couple of copies right here, right now.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
here you go, guys. In case you guys have never seen this, here is the Ringers Lord of the Fans movie that I wrote and produced a while ago.
Oh, there's someone holding it.
Here's the French edition. Oh, dude! Thank you, Wayne. Here's the French edition, and here is the British edition from the UK. If you want to get all Anglophile.
Look at this.
Yeah, and now here's something fun. Do you guys want to see something from New Zealand that I brought back with me?
Oh,
Yes.
this is
There
exciting.
you go. Hobbiton Tours.
Ooh.
This is the brochure from the Hobbiton film set, where you can actually go out to the farm and see the Hobbit
No,
holes. It's
Justin,
really, really beautiful. And what else do we have in here? Oh, I promised you.
It's, oh my god.
Yes, it's gorgeous. It's really, and this is an actual leaf. An actual leaf from an actual tree. There's only one fake tree. One fake tree. The rest of the trees at Hobbiton are all real, quite real trees.
my God.
But Weta had to build Bag End, and on top of Bag End, they wanted to create one oak tree right there on top of Bag End. So it was the only plastic tree they had to build as part of the set. And these
That
leaves,
is awesome.
there's a little piece of Bag End right here. They
That
were
is
just,
awesome.
falling off, and some of them were on the ground. I picked one up.
They're really detailed.
And
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
and they had workers up there for weeks, getting all the horticulture done, the landscaping, and redoing the paint, the trees, all the stuff that was not going to be done digitally was all done real. I saw it firsthand, face to face. The detail in the gardens. I mean, there's little scarecrows and little sculptures. There's little ceramics and little things around the doorway. Every place you go, there's realism.
so
There's
cool.
beautiful,
Oh my
beautiful
God.
realism everywhere you look at Hobbiton.
Can't believe this is from.
And here's
I know.
that's
That
a
is-
real tree.
This
That
is a piece of
Bag End. It's a piece of Bag End
yes.
history. It's true.
the history right here.
And you may have seen the episode where I said I got to visit the set, the Hobbit set, and while I was there, I was in the lunch tent where they have all this catering, amazing food, and all the actors were walking around having their lunch on the Hobbit set, and I picked up these are the little newsletters that they made for the cast and crew,
How cute.
and they're just made on like 8x10 Xerox
How
paper
funny.
that's been folded in half, and they have little
Smell it?
yeah, just smell it.
Ooh, good idea.
you have to
good
smell
idea.
books.
You have to
I'm
smell a
smelling
good
the leaf.
book.
I'm
I
smelling
agree.
the leaf.
I agree. What is a sign of a good book? The way it smells, right? Like this one right here.
Can you smell New
And that
Zealand?
one's vintage too.
Do you know what? This is better than sniffing glue. This is way better. This is way better
is
than
cool.
scratch and sniff movies. Remember the scratch and sniff movies that they were doing?
A movie?
Yeah, they did a scratch and
They
sniff
give you
movie.
like a little card. And
They give you a little card, and wasn't it a?
I swear I remember
It was
that.
I think it was a John Waters movie.
I saw one with Rugrats.
Yes,
Years
scratch
ago,
and sniff.
that's what I
Yeah,
remember.
yeah. Back in the late '70s, early '80s, John Waters did a crazy exploitation film with Smellorama, and you could actually watch the film and have a little scratch and sniff. I don't know what the name of the movie was, but it's really great. Books smell so
I
good.
never thought I'd see
So-
this side of Bilbo.
Yeah, that's a little,
Yeah,
little
it's a bit.
personal.
That's from The Office, by the way. He was originally on the British TV show The Office. So there's a little profile of the actors and this. Look, there's a note on pronunciation here on page 2.
Ooh, let's see.
Right inside on
Two.
page 2, the dialect coach was giving notes for the actors and how to
Oh, I see.
not mispronounce words.
Like
Okay,
mom.
let's do this one more time. Okay, Hayden. Hayden is introducing Leith McPherson, the dialect coach working on The Hobbit, and she says it's rather easy and painless. The vowel on the left helps you with the name on the right. A is for Azog. Bay is for Beorn. Ah, so it's Beorn.
Beorn.
It's not Bjorn. You've been saying it wrong all these years. You've been saying it wrong. It's Beorn, right?
Beorn.
Right. Oh, look
So
what else
does
we have.
Vigo say Glowin's name right?
Vigo says Gloween's name. They all say Gloween's name right. Yeah, they got that right. Gimli, son of Gloween. Even Ian McKellen got it right. So here you go. Key is for Keely. Dal is for Dal Guldur, and the gull is strong. Isn't that fascinating?
Yeah.
And Corin is like Thorin. Well, we know how to pronounce Thorin. Here's the most interesting one. Loud is like Smaug.
Yeah.
The dragon is not like Smog. Everyone, when I was a kid, all the kids would say it, Smog. It's not Smog, it's Smaug with an ow, a loud sound. Smaug. You got that right? Don't get into trouble, Cliff. Yeah, I'm always getting into trouble in this show. So I've got this little mini newsletter that I've got.
Very cool.
This is something that was right on the tables in the lunchroom that all the actors and the stunt people were reading. So what else do we have? Vigo's Danish. And we have any other questions coming in from the chat? Oh, the dude? Seriously? He says that the audiobook of The Hobbit pronounced the dragon as Smog. They should have known better. Dude,
They
really?
should've.
They should have known better. It's definitely not Smog.
You need
It's
to do a new audiobook
Smaug.
then.
I
Well,
would
and
love to do
You should
it.
do that.
Ooh, you know what? That would be a voiceover dream come true. Houghton Mifflin, if you're out there listening, to the American publisher of J.R.R. Tolkien's fiction, I humbly submit my voiceover demo to you right now. And here it is. In a hole in the ground, there lived a hobbit. Not a nasty, dirty, wet hole filled with the ends of worms or an oozing smell, nor yet was it a dry, bare, sandy hole with nothing in it to sit down on or to eat. It was a hobbit hole, and that means comfort.
Very
There you go.
good.
That's it. It means comfort. So I'm telling you, thank you, Wayne. Thank you very much for that. All right, Smaug. Okay, Cliff. Here's a new question in the chat. Do you know anything about the upcoming trailer? Okay, Bilbo Bagshot 187. That is the question of the hour. Comic-Con. Expect the unexpected. But now I'm just letting you know, my instincts are telling me that all the new marketing materials, new posters, perhaps new ad campaign, and that means a trailer. Leading off with a new trailer, it's all going to be premiering in about 2.5 weeks or 3 weeks, San Diego Comic-Con. If they don't, if Warner Brothers does not show the new trailer at Comic-Con, they have missed out on a huge opportunity for marketing to the fan base that really wants to see it. Justin, do you want to speculate on the new trailer?
Comic-Con.
Well, for months now, you've been saying it will be in front of The Dark Knight Rises.
Right.
So-
And Dark Knight premieres at Comic-Con.
I
It
wanna
does?
Be there.
Really?
That is so cool.
Really?
Rumor is that they've rented out the entire stadium, Padre Stadium, and
Rumor is they've rented out the whole Padres Stadium for a screening of the film.
yeah, the
That is
world
awesome.
fan premiere.
I
Everyone's
want
going
to
to be there.
The Dark Knight Rises. Do you know what I noticed looking at the ad campaign around town? When we were looking at Rise of the Planet of the Apes, you'd see all these really cool pictures of Caesar and other apes, and you'd see him showing his fist and going, Rise. like, you know, Rise Against the Machine. You know, this marketing was tailored to the younger audience. It was kind of rock and roll. I liked it. The new ad campaign at every bus stop in Los Angeles says Rise, with a picture of the Dark Knight himself standing there, all, you know, all Billy Badass, like he looks. He's Batman, okay? He's supposed to look that way. But they're using the same slogan, Rise, as this main phrase. It's the slogan in all the advertising
I've seen
now.
a bunch though with Batman just kind of looking down.
Yeah.
Yeah?
You know, not like looking
he's
like
always
in
sad.
your face,
Yeah.
but like he's, you know, watching and paying attention
just
like a
love-
bird
Yeah.
of prey.
Or
All the
a guardian
posters.
angel.
Yeah.
Have you seen all
Yeah.
the different posters with all the different characters?
Some of them.
And in the poster, it's raining.
Yeah?
Oh yeah, I've
yeah,
seen
but
those.
the only one holding an umbrella is Michael Caine. Of course, Alfred.
Yeah.
There's just,
Of course.
but the big
He's
thing
the
about
best.
Batman was that they just released the soundtrack to The Dark Knight Rises.
And
Are there spoilers on the back of the
Well,
CD like there was for
that-
John Williams' score?
the
for
Star
Phantom
Wars.
Yes.
That was the worst.
Yeah.
That was the
I was
worst.
like, who's Qui-Gon? Oh, I guess he's
Qui-Gon's
gonna die.
funeral. He's
It
dead.
was called Qui-Gon's Noble End.
Noble
Yeah.
And that was on the soundtrack to Star Wars Episode 1: The Phantom Menace 3 weeks before the movie came out. And everyone was like, what the... You're killing Liam Neeson and you killed him in the soundtrack? Like, so I can't even... don't even look at anything Batman anymore. Because I
Too many
feel...
spoilers.
I feel like things are going to get spoiled.
What about Hobbit? How many more spoilers do you guys want to see?
Well,
Are you
we did a poll last week on,
We
on
did.
our Facebook page saying what do people want to see, and I thought everyone would choose Smaug, but it's people want to see Radagast.
people want to see Radagast the
yeah,
Wizard?
I could see why.
But the guys are here actually, you know, talking right now, asking when is the next trailer for The Hobbit going to come out. So the fans want to see more. They're ready for more spoilers, and I think the answer is Comic-Con. Yes.
If you want to get 1 billion people to watch The Hobbit, you might as well put the trailer on Batman. It's from
Yeah.
the same studio. They're both Warner Brothers.
Okay, so I'm looking here, and we're looking for any more questions from the fans.
The question is, will we see any Hobbit actors at Comic-Con?
Guess what? I know what you're going to see at Comic-Con, and there's some things I can't say.
Oh my gosh, we have to go.
I actually I saw some stuff in Wellington that will be shown at Comic-Con, and I can't tell you anymore.
Oh my
boy.
gosh, but we should
But
be
it's
there.
cool. It's really cool. It's going to be really, really, really cool. Okay, trust me, it's going to be cool. But they have a big job in front of them. Warner Brothers has no more Harry Potter. It's going to be the end of Christopher Nolan's reign as Dark Knight trilogy is over, and they're really looking at The Hobbit as the most important financial piece of their
the next
puzzle
2 years.
for the next 2 years. Truly. So Rock of Ages did not make as much money as they thought it would make this past weekend. Sorry to say, it's a very good movie. I just saw it. Tom Cruise may be a nutbag. He may be 3 sheets into the Scientology wind. I don't care about his personal life. But Tom Cruise is an excellent performer. And in Rock of Ages, you can't take your eyes off of him. It's stunning.
They should have released
It's
it
really
in
stunning. It's
October.
great.
It
It's
was
really
a-
great.
It was the wrong time to release
Someone
that.
says they need to pick up the Aragon books.
Oh yes, they need to do
if
that
they do
again.
it properly.
That would be
But-
epic movie.
Yeah, well, Aragon. Oh my gosh, are we talking about like Aragon,
Dragons.
Endless? Is it? Did you read those?
Eldest,
The
yeah.
Inheritance series?
Yes,
Yeah.
the Inheritance series. Okay, the Inheritance series that was written by
Christopher Paolini.
Christopher Paolini when he was what, 16 or 17 years old?
Yeah.
Okay, lucky duck. I mean, whose toes do you have to suck in this town to have a best-selling book series? Ask his parents. Yeah, his parents know.
They published him and took him on his own book tour.
Yes,
Yeah,
they did.
And yeah, they changed their
He
whole
went to-
family income to be around his book.
And he would
so
spend
that
all
all
day.
their livelihoods were around
Yes,
it.
they did.
So that's what I need to do.
Get your
Yeah,
parents
Alex,
to
come big
Okay.
on the streets
turn
with
their
me.
lives
I'll
around.
just
What's
try
up
to
is
sell my
this?
book.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
look
when
at
she gets
this.
published, buy her books. They're amazing.
Kelly
You
M.
published
Rice.
yourself. I just published a book
Yes,
on iTunes.
but that is that.
On iTunes?
Ooh,
iTunes?
very cool. Kelly,
Wow.
They take a 30% cut.
Kelly's self-published book, Darkling. Would you autograph this for me, my dear? Is
Well,
this? Oh no, this is your copy.
It's
Okay, this is
you
yours.
can read it if you like.
I'd like to read
Yeah.
it. Okay, but this is the one you have.
I haven't self-published it because that's kind of taboo if you want to go the traditional route.
Indeed.
So this is just a copy I've had printed for my family.
Well, the traditional
But
route of publishing sure has changed
it
a
is
lot.
it is one of the worst times in history to
Unless you
be
do
trying
it
to
on
get.
iBooks, do digital.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that
Amazon, you can publish on Amazon.
Yes,
for
you
like
can.
The problem
$100.
is no one's gonna know about it. No one's gonna read it unless you have the advertising behind you.
That is true.
But no one can buy it. Period.
No
right
one can
now.
ever read it if you
Well, no one can buy it
exactly
right
if you
now.
don't put it out. But I'm trying to stay hopeful. An agent I really like has it right now, and so I'm knocking on wood. I shouldn't have just said that because now I just said it to hundreds of people. I should
Thousands,
probably cursed
tens
myself.
of thousands of people.
But I've
We
had a
have-
couple requests for it, so I'm trying to stay positive.
it's an amazing book.
Yeah.
Very
She-
sweet.
she-
So
she
it was
did it.
so
There you go.
scary.
That's your hardest critic right there.
I get to hear all her books first, and they are all phenomenal. And that one is
Yeah.
very scary.
And she
I
goes
must
into
say.
my computer and she adds her own bits of information.
Oh.
Very interesting. Often,
All of a
often
sudden I'll be
containing
reading it.
Sam.
All of a
Well,
sudden I'm reading
randomly.
it, and all of a sudden she calls him Fat Sam. Fat Sam will be in the scene eating a sandwich.
Which Saddam Hussein is always
yeah,
in there.
Fat Sam and Saddam Hussein always pop up whenever I
chandelier.
leave my laptop open and she runs
Really?
over.
And adds in some funny characters doing some funny bits.
Oh, yes.
And
That's great.
hopes that I'll catch it.
Or if she'll kill someone that I don't approve, I'm like, it's right there, the Word document, just go and erase it. And then it won't happen.
Let me ask you, Kelly, since you're a burgeoning new talent in the field of writing, do you find yourself thinking more of your audience when you're writing something? Or do you find yourself wanting to satisfy yourself first?
I started that way.
Yes.
My first book I wrote because I had a dream that was the end of a story. And I didn't intend to write a book, I just started, I was in grad school at the time for fiction and screenwriting, so I was writing. But it was over the summer and I just started writing like crazy, thinking, how'd this story start? How can I get to that point? And we had a large fire going on at the time, and I didn't want to go outside too much because there's just smoke everywhere, and so I was almost housebound. And in under 3 weeks, I had 90,000 words in a book because I just marathoned it because I felt like I was on the adventure with the characters. So that book, it's called Sing Moonlight. That was
Amazing.
100% me entertaining myself
Yes.
and telling a story that I wanted to read.
But it's,
And I wrote a sequel, and I thought, this is so exciting, I wrote a book. Now I'm gonna get it published. Not really. So I was able to use it as my thesis, and I still am hopeful of getting it published someday, but I sent it out, I think about to 60 different agencies, and they, even the people who requested to read it said, I'm not sure what to do with this. And so I put my nose to the grindstone with this one, and I read The Hunger Games, which I think are really good. I really like them. I don't love them, but I really like those books. And I thought she really has her finger on the pulse of what kids are reading and what they want. And there's a lot of discussion about how the internet has changed how young people read. And they
Yes.
want short, quick sentences and a plot that just goes boom, 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 boom.
like this
And
book.
so I made an effort to end each chapter with a cliffhanger.
Yes.
And to write, and it's
read an excerpt.
it's told in first person
Read a
present
random
tense.
chapter.
No, that'll be a spoiler.
I'll read the opening paragraph
Oh, read the opening paragraph.
because we don't have time for this.
Okay, yes. The opening paragraph of Kelly
Or
Rice's
would you like professional
Darkling.
voice actor?
Yeah.
Ooh.
you can do it.
Here, no. Let the author, please, let the author. Here's,
I'm not a good reader.
Yes, she is. You've read
You're
every
a
single
great
one of your
reader.
books to me out loud. You can do it. She did, and Harry Potter series is what we do.
And Lord of the Rings. We started with Lord of the Rings, but that's when you were like 9.
And I was,
And
yeah.
it was too hard. Went over her
You
head.
read her The Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter?
We stopped halfway through Two Towers and switched to Harry Potter so that she could understand it more.
Yeah, I need to go back though.
Yeah.
okay,
read it.
that's a fascinating bit of. That's a little bit of sisterly love. I love that. To read to each other as children. That is so cool. That is so
that's
cool.
what happens
That
when
is
you're
so
8
cool.
years older.
I dig that.
Okay,
All right, my
go,
book
go.
starts. It's called Darkling. The woods are dark, and my mother is weaving dried blossoms into my hair. They have to be dried because there hasn't been a flower in over a year, not since the darkness spread, veiling our valley in shadow, which is why I'm being readied for him. That's the opening paragraph.
Exciting. So exciting.
That's really
just
lovely.
Set up, and
That's
now
really
now I gotta
lovely.
read more.
It's an amazing book.
But you don't read, Justin.
I don't read.
Yeah.
The movie's out.
Yeah.
Or the fan film.
I want to make a fan film of it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Oh, I know who you
I'll
can
watch
play.
the YouTube video. YouTube's like the cliff notes of movie making.
I know.
Excuse me
There
while
you go.
go over here. To
What's going on?
We've got 20,000 viewers on our show. I just want to type in here and.
So how many fan films have you made?
Oh boy, hundreds.
Hundreds.
Yeah.
I've seen
What?
some of what
And-
you've made.
and
Oh
what-
no.
Really fun stuff.
They are very
Really
demented.
funny stuff.
And the unique thing is that this is your first time, like, kind of in LA, being able to hang out, and you're just. Is it completely different from where you live and grow up?
Oh yeah,
Like, describe.
Polar
describe
opposite.
Where you are.
the Shire-ish, much more like
Where
the
we
Shire.
are at our house.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we eat eggs from our chickens.
Grow up.
We grow a lot of our own vegetables.
We have livestock. I have
we have a
goats,
sheep. We have goats.
horses.
We have horses. We horseback
Peacock.
ride. A peacock wandered out of the woods one day and adopted us, so he lives there.
Cat.
So I make jewelry out of his feathers and try to sell it on Etsy.
Oh, cool.
We've got dogs. We've got cats, and our property backs up to a sand quarry with 400 acres of open land. So we're not in suburbia at all.
Fascinating. Fascinating. So
Oh yeah,
you're
we
in
got
a.
5,000 people in our
I mean,
town.
coming here was
You said you never wear shoes.
yeah.
Nope.
So that was like a big deal trying to find shoes that feel okay. Because when you go barefoot all the time, then any shoe, even these are Crocs and the most comfortable shoes, they don't feel right. So
You're used to living a rural and very earthy homestead kind of lifestyle, really, in a way. Homestead chickens.
I mean, I've seen
Yeah.
our relatives in South Dakota live on a working farm, and we've
Yeah.
been there.
That's
and so I don't like to compare us really to that lifestyle because
Right.
it's not. They work every single day, all day,
Oh yeah.
with their cattle and with their corn and soybeans and all that. But yeah, it is a much more rural lifestyle. I mean, I went to San Jose State, which I consider to be a city, and friends I'd make there would come over and visit, and they'd go, oh, I didn't know people still lived like this.
I feel like I'm camping. I'm
Yeah,
like,
one of my friends walked outside and she's like, I have to go back in. And I said, why? She's like, it's just too much outdoors. I feel like I'm camping. I just know I couldn't live here.
That's funny.
it's very odd.
But
Very
I get
funny.
Compared to-
claustrophobic in cities. It's just too much concrete, too much, I probably sound like a total hippie talking about Tolkien and his love of nature and, living simply with the earth. But that's just, how when you come from that and then you see how far removed the rest of the
crazy.
people in our world live. Well, not the rest of the people in the world, but in, the modern urbanized world. It makes me a little sad to think that they don't know what it's like to walk on the grass or to, or that they think dirt is dirty. Like,
Yeah, Justin.
Okay.
It is dirty.
It's clean dirty.
but
Depends
it's
on-
okay to have dirt
Clean,
on your feet.
dirty.
Yeah.
That's just
Your
analyze
feet,
that
your
phrase.
feet were made to walk on the ground and to walk in the dirt.
Not
Yeah, but human progress, we've progressed to the point where we wouldn't be living and wearing and doing what we're doing the way we're doing it if it wasn't how we're supposed to do it.
But
Not how-
everything comes with a price. Now we have cancers that are from chemicals and materials we've put into our own lives. We
But
have
we're living
back problems
30 years longer than we've
from
ever lived.
standing on pavement all day. We're not meant to be on that hard of a surface all the time. That's why people get
or
feet
locking yourself in a
backaches
box and working for hours and
yeah, the science of the human brain is we evolved to be in constant motion in a constantly changing environment. That's where we thrive. And yet we just sit here doing stuff like this.
hey, this is cool though.
That's the human body, the human mind, so adaptable, so changeable. I don't think that hobbits were as changeable. No,
Probably
as
not.
we are.
True.
The hobbits liked things to stay the same. They liked things to be very quiet. They wouldn't accept technology, and Tolkien was expressing that part of him that missed a simpler life. He hated motor cars. He hated the smoke and the steam and the pollution from the industry, for the advancement of coal and other coal industries that were dominant at the time in between World War I, World War II.
That's actually what London fog was.
Yeah, London
Yeah.
fog
That's
wasn't
the
fog.
joke. London never had fog. as mist.
Uh-huh.
Like, London fog is dirt.
Is dirt and smog
Smog
and
and
soot
soot,
the
yeah.
worst kind? Yes, it is.
And
So-
what does Dick Van Dyke call it in Mary Poppins? He's chimney sweeping.
I don't know.
Okay.
The word.
We have a guest on our chat. We've got a couple of final questions here
Yeah.
as
Very
we
nice.
come near the tail end of our show. Right here, Mongo Slam is asking, are you allowed to say where they are filming, where the scenes are specifically, e.g. mountain ranges and beaches? Well, Mongo Slam, guess what? I have an answer for you. And it's not complete, but we are soon going to see the publication of a new book of all Hobbit locations. Now, it is written by Ian Brody, who is a wonderful guy who wrote the Lord of the Rings Locations Guidebook. If you want to find out where they were filming any of the Lord of the Rings stuff, exact canyons, creeks, rivers, landslides, all these little things where every outdoor segment of the LOTR trilogy was filmed, you need to get a copy of Ian Brody's book. And he just talked with me a few weeks ago when I was visiting in New Zealand, and he said, I am very happy to be putting all the final stuff together, the photographs that he's taking himself, photos, and the layout of what he hopes will be a very successful Hobbit location guidebook that will be published very soon, and I can guarantee you it'll be out around the time that the movie is coming out, at the end of the year. So, I don't know exactly where all of those locations are, but I can tell you that thewondering.net has reported a lot of stories. And we've done some very interesting news that we've picked up from the New Zealand press about where they're filming outdoor locations. So take a look at our news archives on thewondering.net and just search for the word locations and see what you'll find on thewondering.net. Is that where the word Smaug came from? Smog? Yeah, actually, that's funny. Moir is making a funny point. Did Tolkien want to play with the word smog as if it were a source of pollution and smoke and evil?
And he breathes fire.
And he'd put it into this creature Smaug.
He's all about.
Is that...
I don't know.
Old
I have.
You think so?
I didn't bring it. I have an old English book with I could have looked it up
Really?
to see what the root words were, but I should have brought it.
I know.
I keep meaning to look that up to see
Yeah?
if it has a root.
That would
Because
make
a lot
sense
of
because the dragon breathes fire
Yeah.
and smoke, and he
Uh-huh.
loves his money. He hoards his money.
Yes.
Just like the industrialists were doing.
Oh, there's an analogy. Is the
Because,
dragon an analogy for evil industry and the horrors of the industrial age in England?
could be because a lot of his names stem directly from words in Old English, like Frodo. Frode is Old English for mind or thinker.
According to Pete, it looks like Pete has some very erudite information. Thank you, North Runner. We can always trust you, Pete.
Who
He
says
says,
erudite?
I do. I say the word erudite, and I say words like triskaidekaphobia. So stick with me for fun words. You know what that is?
No.
Fear of the number 13.
That's my birthday.
Really? I'm terrified.
I know.
It's Latin. Triskaidekaphobia. It's Latin.
Wow.
Yeah.
took Latin as well.
You get it. she can see all the Latin roots in there. Okay. North Runner says the name Smaug is, quote, the past tense of the primitive Germanic verb smaugen, to squeeze through a hole.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's because Smaug himself had to squeeze through the gate of the Lonely Mountain and go into the Lonely Mountain, and when he took over Erebor and destroyed all the dwarves. Ooh, another spoiler from a 75-year-old book. I hope you guys have read it by now. Guess what?
Justin.
Guess what, Justin? One last thing I'm going to show the girls. I'm going to show the ladies some other little memorabilia from
Oh my goodness.
The Hobbit. We have autographs from not all, but some of the cast.
Oh my God.
Here's Andy Serkis, who is Gollum, and he's also second unit director. Here's
That is amazing.
Orlando Bloom's autograph right here. And here is Evangeline Lilly, who is Tauriel.
How cool.
And she says, Cliff, please help me get them on my side.
Aww.
And she left her phone number.
Yeah, I wish
Oh
she
my
had.
God. Wow.
Oh my
that's
God.
what you're texting.
Evangeline Lilly, I would in a minute. I would take you out for a wonderful dinner and a movie, and
Yeah.
and it would be a wonderful first date.
I'm so
Trust me.
excited for you to be in the Hobbit. Her.
Well, she's awesome. And here's her stunt double. And
cool.
here's my friend working in the greens department. And here is the stunt double for Thorin, who's an old friend of mine. I met all these guys 10 years ago when I was
This is
on the
awesome.
trilogy set. And here's the head of the production company.
Wow.
at 3'7". It used to be 3'6". Now it's 3'7". The new production company.
Wow.
Yeah,
They've grown a bit.
they've grown an inch
That they have.
from the Ent draft.
Yeah.
Isn't that great? So, ladies, we have hit a grand total of 20,000 viewers on today's show. Hello to everyone. Oh, Mongo Slam, you actually got your camera turned on. Good question, by the way. All right, there's Ketchup Bottle, Zanaseb, and Muriel.
Ketchup Bottle.
It looks like our friend Jenny did not make it. We're sorry to have missed you, Jenny.
I think Jenny is just Alex in costume.
No.
She'd have a mustache.
Yeah, a paper beard.
Demosthenes, Demos, I want to say thank you for publishing that excellent article on Billy Connolly and the surprising spoilers that he let loose in the New Zealand press. If you guys want to see a really excellent article, go to the main page of theonering.net and look right there. You'll see the Billy Connolly spoilers stuff that we just published today. Very good going.
I haven't even read
Dem.
because I don't want to.
Oh, come on, it's funny.
No
When
way.
Billy Connolly talks, people listen. That's as simple as that, right?
This is
Right.
this is the reason to go to Comic-Con because that's this shirt.
Oh, oh.
That's
Oh
cool.
boy.
We're previewing our new
We need
T-shirt
to help you
design.
sell those, I think.
Here, I'll show her.
Right?
I think
I'm not
we
going to
really
show the
do.
camera. I'm not going to show the camera.
Okay,
Just gonna
that
show
is
you guys.
amazing.
They can't see it yet. This is a new
That is
T-shirt
amazing.
design
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Well,
a
when
big-
you can't see it, you're gonna really
Ba-
Oh,
based,
yeah.
away.
You're
based
gonna
on
love it.
a familiar Shepherd Fairy illustration element that you've seen very many times before.
Oh yes,
Oh,
that is amazing.
And just,
Ooh,
it's
you wish
really
you
cool.
could see it.
Especially in an election year. It's really cool.
Oh yeah.
So, hey, check it out,
give
guys.
a shout out to your Twitter or your Stickam account.
Oh.
Yeah, in case.
I don't know what to tell people to do.
What's your account names?
On Twitter, I'm Kellie Rice 2, KELLIERICE, then the number 2.
Okay.
Not a Roman numeral.
No.
The Arabic numeral, yes. Okay,
Yes.
that's Kelly
Rice.
Rice 2. Okay. Kelly Rice 2.
I have like a Facebook page where I just post stuff about my writing, but I don't know what the web address for that would be. But it's called Storyteller, then in parentheses Kellie Rice, KELLIE. So if you have Facebook and you look for that, then that would be the easiest way. Oh, I also have a website that's for just a little one that I have for free. That's kellyrice.webs.com.
That's kellyrice.webs.com, a free website that I was looking at a couple hours ago, where you've got some samples of your writing, and you've got some links to some of your videos on your YouTube page
Oh,
as
Pete
well.
put the link in the chat.
Pete, thanks,
Oh,
Pete.
thank you.
Thank you, Pete.
Appreciate that, Pete.
Thank
man, we have the
you.
best audience on our show. Okay, and let's see now. You guys have one last chance before we close the show. We're gonna say goodnight to Meltdown Comics, our wonderful hosts here. Hey, Meltdown Comics. Yeah, you guys are the best. We love you. And
No one responds.
we're gonna say, well, they're busy. They're busy selling graphic
Yes,
novels.
very busy.
And we're going to say goodbye to our wonderful audience. And thank you, all 20,000 of you who came to be part of our show tonight. Any last questions about, invite Vigo? Yes,
would be
Hutch. Hutch, we're going to invite
I would
Vigo.
come back.
I'm coming back for that.
We will invite Vigo. We will. However, when we do invite someone at a higher profile like that, hopefully we'll be able to utilize the stage, because Meltdown Comics has a really cool space, and maybe we can use the stage and have a live audience with us for a live
Wow.
chat. It would be an extraordinary thing, and we're going to work very hard on getting some other top brass who you are all familiar with from the trilogy. When we get closer to the release of the Hobbit film, maybe Warner Brothers will be so kind as to let us have some great interviews with some of the active cast from the Hobbit. And Warner Brothers, I know how kind you are. Deep down in your heart of hearts, you've got a bunch of great publicists, and they're working very hard. So my hat's off to the PR team working at Warner Brothers. And I know you guys got a lot going on for Comic-Con. You guys keep your eyes right here on theonering.net. We have a full story on our page about our presentation on Thursday morning. What day is that? Is that Thursday the 11th or the 12th?
The 11th.
No, sir. No, I think we're off by a day. The 11th is Wednesday. I think 12th. 12th is Tuesday.
Okay.
Excuse me,
12th is
Thursday. Thursday. On July 12th, not July 11th. We'll see you guys San Diego Comic-Con on the morning of July 12th. That's a beautiful Thursday morning at 10:30. We're going to be in room 6, 6DE, 1,000 people, right? You guys going to be there at Comic-Con?
I want to go.
Well, it's almost impossible to get badges, but if you get a chance, you guys got to be there. And we'll bring you more news about our live broadcast if we get it all greenlit. We'll try to bring the technology to you so you can see our San Diego presentation live. Hopefully we can get
We're
that
not
together.
there in person. We will be watching.
Oh,
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
We love you guys. Thanks for being an excellent audience. And so signing off, Alex, Kelly.
Yes, thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for listening to our opinions and listening to me ramble.
Yeah, sure. And it's okay. There's always a lot of ripping in between Lucas fans and Tolkien fans. There's a lot of ripping to do. We do it. And I'm your host, Clifford Broadway, with the amiable help of Justin, our technical producer who is off the screen. Thank you guys. We'll see you next Tuesday, 5 o'clock Pacific Daylight Time. Keep your eyes on the OneRing.net Facebook page, and like us on Facebook because we need more likes, okay?
Hanon Le and Namarie.
Namarie. Very good. Oh, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Blessings to you. Thanks, guys, and good night from Los Angeles, California. I'm Clifford Broadway. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Are we
Great
gone?
show, everyone.
Are we gone?
We're not done yet. We're still live. We're still live. Do I have time for more cookies?
I think you do. And there's one more Hobbit Pop.
It's
Yum.
It's kind of a liquid.
I want to say it's a limp Hobbit Pop, but that doesn't sound right.
You guys are so funny. Thank you for the gifts and everything.
Oh, you're welcome.
You're beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
I hope you enjoy them.
We're almost done.
Come on,
Off
Justin,
the air.
get there. He can't make it.
We're going to stay on the air as long as we can.
We can just eat more cookies in front of you. That's
because
so nice.
you
of
can't
us.
stop feeding the Hobbit.
No.
Me. All right, one more time.